Eurobox presents Emon and Co, written by Emo Fanzine. Emon and Co is not a conventional poetry collection. It's a manifesto, a confession, a rebellion, and a lifetime of stories compressed into rhythm, lyrics, and emotion. Iman invites readers into an intensely personal universe where music, memory, social critique, and spiritual searching collide with electrifying force. Today, Iman is our special guest to give us an insight on his book. So let's welcome him. Hi, Iman. Thank you for being connected and joining us.
It's a great honor.
So, what is Emon and Co. Book One about?
Well, basically, I had two uncles, and one of my uncles said, when I wrote Epitome, which is the main advertised poem, he said you should start writing lyrics and make music. Then my other uncle just said, write a poetry book. I was getting nowhere in music because music is live. Music, you've really got to do live shows. And so my other uncle just said, write a poetry book. And I never knew it was so easy that there's people willing to help you. There's people willing to meet you on the other side of the fence, you know. There's people willing to help you realize your dreams. It's not a hopeless task. There really are agents and different people willing to help.
Yeah, sure. So you also said us that you once visited Turin, and you've described it vividly, the arcades, the ice cream, those summer streets that come alive at dinner time. What did that trip mean to you personally, and has Italian culture influenced your writing in any way?
Yes, I mean, Italy is a very important country. England has tremendous respect for Italy. They have a long history since Roman times. And my best friend was half Italian, half English. Sadly, he passed away because of a drug binge. I've included his music on the internet, and I have not taken credit for his work. In my poetry, I only include my own poetry. Turin, I only know 3 words of Italian: buongiorno, signoretta, and prego. And the word prego is very interesting because it's like the Persians, and I see myself as mixed race, more towards the British, a bit like Simon Le Bon's daughters, because Yasmin Le Bon was Persian, the supermodel. And the word gorbonet, Persians have a word called gorbonet, and that's the nearest thing to prego that the Italians have.
Thank you for sharing this wonderful message of admiration for Italy, and thank you also for getting a little bit emotional, sharing your friend's story. On another note, there's a touching line in your reflection. Too many of my good friends have died young, you said. Could you tell us more about this emotional truth behind that thought and how it echoes through your poetry and prose?
I mean, when people are growing up, everybody is trying to get qualifications. And then some people are trying to distract you and sidetrack you with vice. And vice can be anything from gambling to women, to alcohol, to cigarettes, to drugs. And vice is dangerous. Vice isn't a little bit of fun, which most people make out. Vice actually kills. I've seen it so many times. Vice actually kills. It's a killer. I think I'm not saying I'm Muslim because I'm Christian, But this business of blocking out dangerous substances that endanger friends, and having lost so many friends through it.
How can we relate this? How can we relate this to the quote from Phil Collins, "Do as I say, not as I do," and reflected on the danger of vice and the search for peace? You know, how have those experiences shaped your creative process and also your outlook on life today?
Phil Collins, yes. Phil Collins is a funny one. He said, do as I say and not as I do. There's a Prince, you know the musician Prince? He did a song called If I Was Your Girlfriend. And If I Was Your Girlfriend was a joke to Phil Collins about I can feel it coming in the air tonight, because Phil Collins did a song called I Can Feel It Coming in the Air Tonight.
Yeah, very
and
nice.
I've met Prince personally, the musician Prince. I've met him personally. And his last words were, "It's crazy, I've got to die." And that was 3 days before he died. And he made a joke song to Phil Collins, "If I Was Your Girlfriend," because Prince was one of those people, he either liked you or he disliked you. Kim Kardashian was treated a bit harshly by Prince, but if he likes you like Phil Collins, he'll do a little joke like "If I Was Your Girlfriend" about in the air tonight.
Yeah, we appreciate that tribute to Phil. One last thing, very shortly, but it's very important to tell. You mentioned an upcoming book too. Can you give us a glimpse of what readers can expect from it?
I've written Poetry Book 2, and that should be coming out in a few months' time. If I can just read out one of the poems.
Yeah, sure.
Suicide bid won on the first day of Oxbridge interview inductions. The power of the pound. Women want to knit. Men want to be knight. Miracle Paradise. Tony Blur. Club Blues. Cranberry juice as a substitute to red wine. Drinking a cocktail by the beach. Or eating a sandwich on a bench. Hollywood scene. Podcast productions, school uniforms or G.I. Jane uniforms, that is the question. This, London Zeus, acid house, sex and football, Humpty Dumpty Holy Bible, saints and sinners, snakes and ladders, McCarthyism stated there wasn't a single communist sympathizer apart from the Queen amongst American senators. In Blur's pop song, Girls and Boys, across a cross-section of Britain, there isn't a single gay in the videotape.
Thank you, Emon. Thank you. That's too much spoiler already, so we look forward to reading the new book. Thank you. Thank you for giving us an insight on book 1 and for giving us this wonderful spoiler for book 2. So we wish you best luck with your literary production.
Okay, fantastic.
Emon and Co is for readers who love poetry that breaks boundaries, for fans of music-driven writing, for those who recognize themselves in outsider narratives, and for anyone curious to experience a voice unlike any other in contemporary literature. Emon and Co, written by Emo Fanzine, is now available in bookstores and digital platforms. It's a publication by Eurobox.